Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Seven Kingdoms of Westeros. I am one of your hosts, the Maester Taylor Field, and I'm joined by.
I am the ninth. Kirkland Batzer.
And yes, we are here because this is the finale of Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Holy smokes. What a journey. 6 episodes, half an hour each. It's been a good time. But yeah, we're here to discuss it. If you've not seen any of the show, we've got the show's out, so go watch the show, and then we've got 5 episode reviews that you can go check out, available right now. Best part is they are ad free on both feeds because I just realized the episodes are short reviews, so you don't even have to join the Patreon if you want those to be ad free. But if you want all the other stuff to be ad free, join the Patreon because you get tons of content on there. We just did something for the Patreon, which was the retro
retros.
Punisher.
Punisher, yeah. 1989. Starring
1989.
the great Dolph Lundgren.
Yes. And there was another retro we did too, which was Resident Evil. Yes.
That's right.
The animated one and the live action with Mila. So there's lots of stuff that's just going to be popping off on the Patreon. Lots of upcoming content to check out. It's a good time, good place to be. And also, we got shout outs to do here. Thank you to our patron producers, Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Superbad Mike, The Good God Loves Me, 69, also known as Norman Reedus Fetus, Hidalgo, Lenny Kravitz, Cocktail Clay, John with no H, Sam Green, and John M. And I think there's more. I'm not sure if there's more, and we just haven't added them in there yet, but it's a work in progress. There's lots of stuff that's coming on the feeds. We got a review coming next week from me and Travis. Going to be doing Scream 7, and we're also going to do like a mini review of the trailer for Scary Movie, the sequel there, because they're dropping that ahead of Scream 7, so that'll be a good time. Nice. I think Project Hail Mary, that's around the corner next month, and we got tickets early because the showing is now earlier in the week on the Monday instead of the Thursday night. So are you coming to that, Kirkland? We're going to the Extreme?
To be determined. I wasn't super hyped on that movie, but have like early reviews dropped for it? I don't know why I'm so like standoffish. I'm sure it'll do well.
I haven't seen if there's early reviews actually for it. If it's one of those movies where it's like, oh, no one can talk about it until the day before the release, then okay, it's one of those movies
doomed to fail.
Yeah. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
Yeah, but okay. Without further ado, let's get into here. We're going in raw. No preface bullshit. Like we're getting into spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can turn back in 3, 2, 1. Kirkland, how'd you feel about the finale?
Yeah, episode 6. It came so fast. I can't believe we're already here. I really enjoyed this episode. I think in the back of my head I had some like false hope that this would be a longer episode just because I have been enjoying the show so much. I'm like, oh yeah, the finale, it'll probably be like at least 42 minutes, right, to really build up. No, still just like a 30. I think it was like 30 minutes flat even this episode, but regardless, what was in there, we didn't have a lot, but I feel like the quality was really top notch. I just really love our cast. I really like specifically Sir Duncan and Egg, but even just like the surrounding supporting cast, I just really like the crew that we have. So I'm really looking forward, excited for season 2. I think they did them back to back. I feel like we've discussed this a couple times on the reviews. I apologize for not remembering, but regardless, I'm very much vibing with this. Although also like this episode was the first one that really hit me where I'm like, this is literally just like Mando, but Game of Thrones, right? Like you literally just have the Mando and Grogu, but you have Sir Duncan the Tall and Aegon the Squire, and obviously there's some filtration there. It's not the exact same show, but just like the main soul, I feel like is there. They go on adventures, but it's really about those two, and I feel like what we got at the end of the episode, it was just like well, maybe not the very end, but like before that last scene, you just like have like a wholesome grin on your face, and you're just like, man, I just really love this adventure, and I want to just follow these two going forward. Exact same way I was feeling at the end of season 1 of Mandalorian, which was kind of funny, and of course that kind of tapered in quality, at least in in my perspective on my feeling of that show. So hopefully, this show doesn't go the same route as that. But for what we got, judging just here, really really good. I was kind of surprised what was going on with oh my gosh. Gotta get my
Dunk?
IMDb.
Egg?
Maekar
Maker.
Targaryen. Just how that whole thing unfurled, to use that word, with Sir Duncan, and just that whole dynamic. Like, it could have gone many different ways. I was expecting it to go a different way than it did, and I don't know. I was surprised, and like it was a nice surprise. Just because I don't know. It wasn't super what I thought it was going to be, with regards to. I don't know why I'm so trained on like having spoiler free section. I'm like beating around the bush on what actually happened there, but just his whole dialogue sequences with Duncan, like he just seemed like a more understanding individual than maybe he had seen or seemed to be. Sorry for what he was shown earlier on in the season. Maybe
Just in
that
the
was
one
also just
scene
my
though, right? Because like their next meeting that they have, it's like no, he's a little bit more back to his roots. Like he's still
yeah.
humbled and he's still listening, but he's like, he's the blood of the dragon. He's not gonna live like shit, in the ditch
Yeah.
and all that.
No, for sure. I think it was more so though. Like my theory would have been like a classic Game of Thrones. Like he like purposely killed his brother, and it's like this is gonna be my I was just expecting like the evil reveal here of okay, we're coming to a season finale, and now you're just gonna feel like shit, just how you feel at the end of every single Game of Thrones season for the first handful of seasons. Ed Stark. You love him all first season, he gets his head chopped off, and that's just how you leave season one, and you just feel awful. I was expecting something like that to happen, where like this guy is just so evil. It's like, yeah, this is going perfectly to plan, but like he is grieving, right? Like he is sad. He's even saying like everyone's gonna think that I killed my brother, and he doesn't say he did or didn't. I feel like it's pretty implied that he didn't mean to do it, because I feel like he does show some genuine, just yeah, like he's sad. He's upset about the whole situation. So I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, he is still like a royal Targaryen, and he didn't like we'll get there. That was the big reveal at the end of the episode. It's Egg did just run away from him again, which was a big holy shit moment that kind of got me hyped. But I was rambling all over the place. What did you think about the finale here?
Um, yeah, I really enjoyed it. Again, these episodes they're 30 minutes long, and this did not
They're
at all
so
feel like
fast.
it. They're
They're so
so
fast.
fast, but they do a good job at really diving into the story, and I had a good time with it. I wasn't really sure what the fallout was going to look like, but seeing Makar feel that guilt and that weight of his actions and not being genuinely happy that he killed his brother, it just it's painful to know that okay, because of this, this is just a canon event that leads to Robert Baratheon's rebellion, right, and the Mad King and the downfall of Targaryen reign after like centuries of ruling. Because of this, I mean, if Baelor became king, we wouldn't have had the Mad King. We wouldn't have had anyone. We wouldn't have had the Lannisters turn on them. Jamie Lannister wouldn't have killed him and stabbed him in the back. Like Robert Baratheon wouldn't have turned on, started the rebellion. It would have been so different. And so it's just crazy to think, like, even this instance where, yes, Egg eventually becomes king. Yes, Duncan becomes Kingsguard. It's ultimately, no, it just doesn't. It's not good enough. Shit still just kind of spirals out of control by the time we get down to the Game of Thrones era, and even Daenerys coming back and just sacking King's Landing. So that's just kind of like the weight of just this episode and the fallout of what happened in last week's penultimate one. But I like everything with Duncan here, and I like that they leave it out and up to interpretation whether or not he was knighted. And I know a lot of people are talking about that if he was knighted throughout this show, and so because he never follows through and knights the squire, right, the cousin. And then it's Lionel Baratheon that steps in and ends up knighting him. So people were speculating, oh, he couldn't knight him because he was not a knight himself. And so here you go, he's like, Sir Alfred Pennytree, why didn't you knight me? And like he's
Yeah.
dead. But then it's like a scene where he wakes back up and starts talking, and then at the end of the episode you see that he's walking there side by side with him on horseback, and then he veers off to the side and moves on,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, okay, maybe just maybe he never did knight him, and maybe like he came back to life, and maybe Dunk just kind of headcanoned it that he got knighted or something like that in his mind. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's up to interpretation, and I like that. That was one thing, and then they've thrown in another little piece of a moment where you didn't have Makar and you didn't have Egg talk. It was just a fucking heavy scene, and you think you would need some whole sequence of exposition between the two of them, but you didn't. You just needed Egg to feel like he was truly left alone, to sneak in there with a knife, because I was thinking he was gonna cut Darian's balls off or something.
Oh
like
wow,
that.
yeah. When he first grabs the blade, he's like looking at his hair. I'm like, is he just gonna do a wild like buzz cut here with
Oh.
this butter knife? No, he was going to finish the job. Take out. Yeah, that scene was really intense, even though there was like no dialogue in it at all. I completely
No,
agree.
just grabs his shoulders and then the blade. I thought maybe he didn't know the blade was in Egg's hand, but then it's like subtitles, blade drops. Like, okay,
Yeah.
he knows.
There's a loud clunk too. And then what were you saying before that? Let's circle back to oh my gosh, what were you just talking about before that scene with
The rebellion, the canon event.
just after that with
The ghost penny tree, him not being knighted.
yeah, okay, yes, thank you. Yeah, I thought that was going to be a really big reveal that like he actually isn't a knight this whole time. I thought that was going to be how he dies, because it looks like it's like the exact same scene like that he buries him in, right? Like at the start of the show. So I thought that was going to be the moment that he asked that, and then he just dies there, and then he never gets to find that, and he's just been a fraud this whole time. Back of my head, I'm like, that is pretty dishonorable, and I feel like Duncan is pretty honorable. Like he's a very chivalrous knight in an era where I feel like that's kind of few and far between. Like even like the true-blooded nobles don't really act very, honorable. Exhibit A, that fucking Aryan guy in the show, how that whole thing went down. I mean, he is the cause for fucking Baelor getting skulled, right? Like this whole thing happened because he chopped that poor lady's finger off, and he's a royal, right? It doesn't matter what the repercussions of his actions are, but I digress. But no, getting back to that scene, I thought that was going to be like the big reveal that it didn't happen. And then he wakes back up and it's kind of like, yeah, just a comedic moment. I think he did get knighted. I thought maybe they were going to show that because they do set you up into thinking that, but then it's never really answered. But I don't know, just by the way that Duncan kind of carries him about, I feel like he did. But it wasn't, concretely told to us one way or the other, so we can keep speculating and theorizing. I'm sure it was discussed in the books. The people that have read that probably know the answer, but still, I'm totally okay with that answer not being revealed here in this season, and to let us kind of think about that going forward.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't know if we'll get that character like Pennytree coming back in the next season with the way he like Paul Walkered off in this final episode. Like Vin Diesel and him in their trucks, just
Yeah.
till I see
Veered.
you again.
Yeah,
That song
gosh.
starts playing.
Yeah. I'm glad that didn't lead us off into the
No,
rolling credits. Night of the
But-
Nine Realms.
Nine Realms, yeah. And I thought that was great after that whole sequence of them going off together, and then it cuts back to the Targaryens leaving the camp. I thought for sure that we were going to see Aemon Targaryen, his brother, because he's the one that goes off and joins the Watch, the Wall, as a
Like the one from the
crow.
show, right?
Yeah,
Like
he
we see the
becomes
older boy?
a maester. Yeah, so I thought we were going to be seeing him, but we did not. It just cuts to Makar like, where the fuck is Egg? Where'd he go?
Yeah, that's when it's like, holy fuck, okay, this is intense. Because, like, the scene right before that is them, just bonding, going over the Nine Realms, Eggs, listing them all off. And it's just like, oh, this is awesome. This is so wholesome. I love this show. Everything worked out. He gets to go train with them. And then it goes to that and, like, the reality of the situation going into next season where Duncan thinks that he's, he has the approval of his dad to train him and everything's right in the world. He's doing everything, like, to the law. Meanwhile, there's like a manhunt trying to find Egg somewhere in the realms. Yeah, it's intense.
No, for sure. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. I think that's gonna be the best part because you highlighted the Mandalorian there, and that's a great comparison. I think you're getting into this buddy buddy scenario here that I'm really really down for to see, and yeah, no, I think it's gonna be good. I don't need to see any other characters, I guess, pop up. Like if this is the last that we see of like the Targaryens, that family, I'm totally fine with that for now. I'm down to see like Sir Duncan, Egg going on adventures, and it makes sense that they're gonna be going out to Dorne as well. And I don't know if I fully trust what Egg is saying about 9 realms versus 7. I feel like he's just like, okay, I lied to my dad. We need to get the fuck out of here. We need to go far away to Dorne because Dorne is actually not part of the Seven Kingdoms. And maybe it is at this time. I'm not sure with my Game of Thrones geography of Westeros too well, but I think Egg is just pulling his Sir Duncan's chain a little bit. It's like we need to leave, at least for the time being, until we come back.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that angle of it, of him like knowing that he betrayed his father, and his father's probably going to be looking for him now, and just trying to get as far as possible. Because in that scene, it doesn't seem like he's really pushing to go to one specific area, and like the fact, like the show at the end said like a Knight of the Nine Realms or whatever, like in the credit, makes me think that he wasn't just lying to him. Like, if the next season comes out, is that what it's called, a Knight of the Nine Realms? Or Nine
I think
Kingdoms,
there's a
or-
high, well, yeah, there's a high chance it could be.
Yeah, because the actual book isn't called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, right? It's just called like The Hedge Knight or something along those lines.
Yes, that's right.
Believe. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But regardless, that's like something that I do want to touch back upon, obviously, for next season. And I just want to get the show again because it's so good and these two are so great. And I feel like I think maybe I'm just out to. I'm not gonna. I was gonna say I think they were filming stuff already, but I don't want to say that because I'm probably wrong there. But if they haven't filmed, they better film right away because we know how quickly child actors can age, and if they take too long, Egg is gonna be bigger than Sir Duncan the Tall.
That's right. You have an Avatar Airbender situation going on.
Yeah. When you said Avatar Airbender, of course you're talking about Aang, but like I was thinking the blue Navis.
The
He's
blue
just like an
Na'vi.
8-foot monster.
I was curious about like a Knight of the Nine Realms, and so I gave it a quick Google, not to be confused with Knights of the Nine, the Elder Scrolls DLC from Oblivion. So
Hey,
yeah, that's
shouts out
just
to that.
yeah, shouts out to that. Yeah, what else do we got in here? We have the Squire cousin. I really like this character, and for season 2, I would love it if they just brought him back as someone that's reoccurring because yeah, I remember his cousin turned on Dunk.
Oh, the
and was like,
Fossaway.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Fossaway, that's the one. Yeah, so
He's hitched.
he's hitched. Yeah, like it's just it's just a predictable like I don't even know like for a level of humor. I think it's just a cop out. But it just gets me when you got some poor chap who's just infatuated with a girl and head over heels and just loses all sense of common sensibility when she's like, yeah, and I'm with child. Then gets a boy and he's just smiling like a boy. And it's like, man, she's been sleeping around. Like, what are you doing? But he's so giddy and so happy. But
Yeah.
that just hits my funny bone a little bit. I mean, it's brutal. I don't think it's funny. God forbid it ever happens to to people. But it just cracks me up as a humorous moment in these shows. Yeah.
Prostitution was legal back then in this
Mm-hmm.
Seven Kingdoms realm, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that moment when her and Duncan kind of share a look, and he chooses to not reveal that he knows what her previous job was, and if they're happy, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely a funny moment though, because he's like feeling all pumped. It's like, yeah, I got kicked out of the family basically. I'm a green apple now. I think that's what he is. And especially like talk about his cousin. He's like, yeah, my cousin kicked me out of the house because I betrayed him, even though like he's literally the one that like at the last minute switched sides. It was quite funny, but he was very pumped because he won, right? He beat his older cousin, and he's married now. He probably got laid last night. Like this guy's just on cloud nine. Yeah, I like that scene a lot. It was funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lost his tent and everything. Jeez. Poor guy.
Yeah.
But
He
yeah,
didn't have a lady
so
though in his old tent, but he
no,
does now in his new one.
that's right. He's definitely someone. Yeah, like I said, I want to see him come back. I think he'd be a great character, great asset. And I wasn't expecting Lionel Baratheon to have a little bit, kind of a send off, but just kind of a follow up with his character.
Mm.
He just keeps proving to be a nice, what would you call it? Just a nice fresh dose of just comedy and drama whenever he just pops up
Mm.
in each episode that he's in. He starts taking a leak and he's like, fuck off. You're a shit maester. You don't know what you're doing. You can't cure shit. Get out of here. And I don't know why that just
Poor
cracked
guy.
me up. Yeah, poor guy. That just made me laugh. But I think it's just a combination of the armor with the antlers that he wore when he went into battle, and then his level of humor and his charisma. But I really like this Baratheon character. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So it
Yeah.
would be cool. Sorry, go ahead.
No, no, you're all good. He's the type of character that like when he's on screen, I'm just like anticipating something to happen. I don't know. Like he's not like a full on wild card where he's just like chaotic, but I just feel like in a room full of everyone that's like clean cut, he could just say the most like ridiculous vulgar thing and it'd be funny. But he's not just a jokester. Like he fought in the battle. He was one of the knights, and he's very capable. And yeah, I liked when he's basically yeah, just exchanging last words with Duncan there. Come to where's the place that he calls it? I can't remember now. It's not it's not freaking yeah, no. I lost it. A different I think I had like an Elder Scrolls name in my head now after you mentioned that DLC. That's funny. But regardless, I am going to miss that character and hopefully we see him again in the next season. Probably not because I mean maybe, but like it just seems like they're really distanced from like that setting and if they're going all the way to Dorne, I doubt they would be running into familiar faces that we've seen already in this season, like at the tournament setting. But I do think that we are going to see some Targaryens, at least Maekar, just because he is like the one that's looking for his son, right? Not necessarily him interacting with the boys, but like just from his perspective, quick shot wherever he might be. I don't think we've seen the last of him. And Aerion, he really feels like he's set up to be like the villain or antagonist. Of course, we do know his fate, so I didn't really think that Egg was gonna slit his throat, knowing what I know about how he goes about his doom. But regardless, I feel like we haven't seen these characters for the last time, but maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe next season is totally different. Just we got Egg and Duncan and the threat of his father trying to find him, but that's kind of the only tie to this season. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean it would be cool to see if he does come back, and I mean a part of me could see him doing so, because I mean we were predicting that maybe the king would pop in here, and it looked like we got a couple other Targaryens appearing in that roast scene when Baelor's body was being turned into coal.
I think of like a comedy roast, but it's like no, it's a funeral roast.
Well,
They're
that's
just roasting
how Lionel
his barbecue.
Baratheon worded it too, right? I can't remember how he said. He's like, yeah, after the roasting or whatever, and then it cuts to the funeral pyre. I'm like, oh, Lionel, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. There was another cut like that too when I think it was Egg's brother, like the other one that like went to the bar, like that guy that didn't want to fight.
Oh yes.
And he's talking about Arion, and he's like, he wasn't always such a piece of shit meanie. He's like, yeah, he really liked to fish, and then it just like a quick cut to this nasty looking fish on Egg's plate. Yeah, there's been some fun quick cuts moments like that throughout the whole season so far, but that was one in particular I really enjoyed.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I agree with that. I'm trying to think what other ones there are.
I swear there's been one in like every single episode. This one,
yeah, at least
had another one. I can't really remember, but
yeah,
they're usually around the comedy, and I think that it usually works for me around that.
yeah, that's usually what works for me too.
Yeah.
Um,
I
what
really
else
like
do
the
we
scene
got?
between. Sorry.
No, go.
I really like the scene between Duncan and Baylor's son. Um, have we have seen this guy before, right? Like he was in the tournament, I think.
I don't remember, to
He
be
like
honest.
like this is the guy with like the brown with like a silver in his hair, right? He's like, "Why did my dad die, but you didn't?" That whole sequence. I liked it because it didn't seem like the guy like you're the reason why my dad's dead. Like he kind of came across that, but like not really. Like he did seem more of a stoic, philosophical type view on the whole situation, which I really liked because it seemed like I've seen this character for like 2 seconds this entire season, but I can already see some of the Baylor traits in him. So
Mm.
it does make sense that like he'd be his son. I'm really gonna miss that character Baylor because obviously he was a really interesting like Targaryen character, right? Like a very different Targaryen than we've seen of the past. So I was really looking forward to getting more of that. Rest in peace. We're not gonna see him. He got roasted, but his son here, I liked it. I liked how he was just questioning the whole situation, and I didn't realize he was using his son's armor, but he did, and he died in his son's armor. That's pretty sad, but
Mm. Mhm.
regardless, I like that whole scene, and even just the whole like after the tourney is over now and like Duncan is just limping about, he's all busted and blue, and life just goes on. The tourney's over, like the royals are like in bed rest, like getting like a bunch of maesters looking after them, but like Duncan is just hobbling about on his broken limbs, and the whole town just thinks that he's the reason why this guy, like this royal guy, died. I just like the whole feel of that, and just like the stark contrast between like a well-regarded knight like an Aerion Targaryen versus the Hedge Knights or Duncan, and just how they're treated. Like even though they were literally clashing, like on a, like they could have, like he could have killed the Targaryen guy right then and there, but
Oh,
then once the
for
tournament's
sure.
over, they're in like completely different social hierarchies, and it's just, yeah, it's a totally different ball game. Even if he is a sir, it's not really the same equivalent by any means, but I threw a lot at you there, but that was kind of like my last overalls, I think, specifically for this episode.
Yeah. No, I like that, and I could definitely agree with you. I'm trying to think of what my overalls are for this episode, but I don't know if I really have any other notes. Trying to think if we missed anything, any bit of dialogue alluding to anything like that, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I guess I would ask you, like, what do you think overall? Like, final thoughts, I guess, on the episode, but then also on the season, like, as a whole,
Hmm.
and just going into season two.
I mean, yeah. Final thoughts is the show's great. It subverted my expectations, exceeded my expectations. I thought the show was going to be one thing, and it completely turned out to be something different. And so I've been telling everyone that I know, like, hey, you got to check it out. It's a good time. I think you're really, really going to like it. And so hopefully that gains some traction because I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one where people are like, oh, short episodes. I don't know what we're in for here, but the show's really, really good. And so I hope a lot of people give it the time of day to watch it because I think if we get a season two and we get more adventures between Egg and Dunk, I mean, I'm all there for it. That sounds like a damn good time. If I had to give it like a number, I'd probably go like eight, 8 out of 10. Dock at
Yeah,
a
10
point because the
for
episodes
the
could have been a
season.
little longer, yeah, for the season,
Yeah.
and then dock at another point because no, fuck it. Give it 9 out of 10.
Hey,
Yeah,
look at that.
yeah.
Quick 9 out of 10. Yeah, I like it. I really enjoyed the season. It was definitely it was one that like I was really hyped for. First episode happened. Deflated me a little bit, and then I like readjusted my expectations, and then from like episode 2, it's just been all rise. I feel like yeah, it's just been all top quality, and I kind of want to rewatch the first episode and feel, or I imagine I'll feel a lot differently than I did on the first viewing, but still,
Mm-hmm.
it was a good time. So it was just kind of, of course, re rearranging what this show kind of is and what my expectation of what it was going to be of battles and dragons and just like much larger scale. It's like, no, this is a lot more of a simpler story, but you know, it doesn't mean it's bad by any means. But yeah, really, really like this season. I do wish it was longer. I understand the weekly drops for sure, especially on HBO and Crave. But like this show would have been so good as binge. I was also eating it up, so I would have loved that. I would have just watched it all in one sitting. But I get it. I understand. Yeah, not really any major complaints by any means. So I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10 also for the first season here. So there you go. Total of 18 out of
That's
20
good.
for the first season of the GD. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Yeah, like you said, 6 weeks. Done. Holy smokes.
It's like if I feel like it went by really fast, but looking back and it's been 6 weeks, like it feels, like that's a good amount of time. It's like 2 months, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Feels like it just started, but no. Just ended.
Well, yeah, it just ended, but I mean, people can look forward to more Westeros coverage because we're going to be getting into House of the Dragon season 3. So that's
That's
going
right.
to be coming on the docket, which the trailer did drop not too long ago. So you can go check that out. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to shout out?
I do not.
Okay.
Take us away.
Take us away. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, remember, in the search bar, you can find us, Patreon, social media channels, all that kind of stuff. But we will be back once season 3 of House of the Dragon flies into our proximity. So until then, we'll see you in the search bar. Have a good one.
Bye.